Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Gary here. It is Tuesday, the April 28th. Raining in Cincinnati today. I hope it rains the next 3 days. We need it. Anyway, today's program is going to be called The Grass Isn't Greener. A lot of content here. I'm going to try to keep it under 20 minutes. I'm timing it today so I don't go past 20. Where to start? I've been watching a lot of, and I've touched on some of the stuff I'm going to talk about today. I had touched on a couple other videos, but this is going to be more focused on how the struggles that people go through after they've been divorced, after being with a certain partner for 25 plus years. And it's mostly women because and I'm not picking on ladies out there. I'm not. What I'm saying is some of the programs I'm watching on YouTube, I like watching other people's podcasts. That's something I enjoy doing. I like giving podcasts, and I also really like, and I have a bunch of people I follow. I have subscribed to over half a dozen of people talking about different stuff. Anywhere from horse racing to relationships or situationships. There's a podcast out there called The Wall. I'm not promoting them, although I am. But it's a really interesting concept. What it is, it's the person that's created this podcast is really it's full frontal. It's in your face of what's going on in America today in the 21st century, and it focuses on it's women that talk about women and it's guys that talk about women. So it's both parties are discussing it, but it's women that videotape themselves, whether they're in their car or at home or on their couch, talking about the struggles of being single after being married for 25 years and the struggles they're going through. It's really quite interesting. And it just reaffirms and reconfirms with me all the things I've been saying all along in some of my shows. It's a crapshoot out there. It's the dating scene has changed drastically since the 80s. If you're old enough to relate to that, granted, because if you're over the age of 50, you get it. And some of these people that talk about how miserable they are how miserable they are being single after being with the same guy for 25 years. It's woman after woman after woman after woman on this show, The Wall. And it's depressing. I can only watch it once or twice a week. That's how depressing it is. But you might want to check it out. I think it's a brand new podcast. Unless I just came upon it. But it's pretty cool how they got it, how they have it set up. That said, I'm gonna sidestep to a real story that I have. That's a true story because all my stories are true. I don't ad-lib anything. Gary, you got a lot of stuff you've done in your life. Well, yeah, I'm 65. Well, I'm 66 years old. Yeah, I've seen it. I've done it. I've been around. I've done stuff. And so, sidestepping really quickly, it's like one of my friends said, you should get your niche down to what you talk about. Sometimes you talk about what you used to do for work. Sometimes you talk about relationships. Sometimes you talk about stuff in general. YouTube's going to have a hard time getting your algorithm down. So if you get a good niche down, then you'll be able to get more subscribers. I don't care how many subscribers I have. I have 23 right now. It's great. I got a nice little community. I'm happy with that. That said, I know I sidestep a lot. People that know my content, they know I sidestep a lot. I apologize. Sorry, not sorry. There's a lady I know and a guy I know. They were married for, I think they were together 27 years. I think something like that. I met the lady first, and I'm not going to say her name because Cincinnati is a very small town. Okay. And I don't know who's listening, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. She shopped at my store, one of my home stores, years ago, over 20 years ago, because I had a following. I had women that I knew what they liked as far as food and how I would take care of their families. I've talked about that in other shows. I'm not going to go back over it. And this one particular lady I took care of, I became friends with her. She would invite me to her home. She and her husband had a beautiful home in a really nice area of Cincinnati, in one of the many communities of Cincinnati. There's several really nice ones, and there's a lot of ghetto, but that's any city, right? And she introduced me to her husband. He was a couple of years older than I was. A real nice guy. Super nice guy. Tall, dark, and handsome. And made a lot of goddamn money. I'm not going to say what he did. I'm not going to go there. But he made a lot of money. Had a beautiful home. He furnished a beautiful home for her and him. They belonged to one country club that I know of. They had a house in Michigan. And in their house in Michigan, it was right on the lake. They belonged to a country club there. They had a boat. They had children. Not going to say how many. They had children. They're all in high school at the time. Now they're all grown. I'm sure they're all grown on their own. Had a dog and a cat. I mean, they had everything anybody would want. I would say that he was in the top 5% income-wise in the city of Cincinnati. He was a nice guy. She was a nice lady. I got to be friends with them, really good friends outside of work. I was invited to their house on several occasions for parties. Her husband invited me out to play golf at his country club. I got to know him. So I don't want this to go long. I'm going to break it down. I got to give you the Reader's Digest thing because I got a lot of content here. He started inviting me to play golf with him and two other guys. So I was the fourth in the foursome. It's customary, guys that know, guys, there's guys out there listening in, ladies, that play golf. You play 18 holes on the turn, meaning after your ninth hole, there's a turn. You could stop off the snack bar and get a hot dog or a Coke or a beer. And in this case, guys would stop into the clubhouse, go in the clubhouse and get a 12-pack of beer, jam it full of ice, and stick it in the back of the golf cart, and they'd be drinking on the back nine. That is customary for guys. It was for me back then. And the guys I was playing golf with at this really nice country club in Cincinnati. I got to know her husband real well because after 2 or 3 beers, what happens, people? What happens after 2 or 3 beers? Your lips start moving and you talk about stuff that you wouldn't talk about if you were sober. I got to know how miserable he was in his relationship with this lady I know from the store. What a bitch she was. What an albatross she was. And he was talking, squawking, talking like a canary. Excuse me. Going on and on and on about her. And all her friends and all her wants and all her needs, see? And not only him, but the other 2 guys that were married were squawking about their wives. About their wants and their needs. That it was never enough. Okay, again, I'm not picking on you ladies. I'm just giving you one side of what I heard. So that was then. I think the last time I hung out with those guys was before I moved into my residence where I am now. Actually, I've been in my residence here 11 years now. I stopped hearing from those 2 about 5 years ago. And so I was curious one day. I jumped on, because they both have their own Facebook pages. I jumped on his first. Under where it used to say married, it said single. I'm like, uh-oh. So I jumped on hers. Where it's, well, you say married, it said single. I think, oh, they got divorced. They finally pulled the plug. Somebody asked for it. I wonder who it was. So let's fast forward to last year. I was at the track. Now, a lot of people, the racetrack is about 4 miles from my house, and where they used to live, 5 miles from their house. It's a real nice part of our community because it doesn't cost anything to get in, doesn't cost anything to get a seat, doesn't cost. So cheap to go to the track, and the entertainment's great. And a lot of people go down there. It's a real social thing. I run into her with 3 of her girlfriends last year at the track. They were down near the rail. We're getting ready to watch the next race. And I get upon her. And I'll say her name because there's so many people with that name. I said, Jennifer, how the hell are you? And she looked at me. She goes, hey, Gary, how are you? Real kind of calm, just really kind of down and out. and her girlfriends were just chill. I said, hey, I heard you were single, divorced. She goes, oh, who told you? I said, oh, I was trolling. I looked at your website and I looked at your Facebook and your husband's, or now your ex-husband's Facebook, and I saw you guys were both single. What happened? She goes, oh, I was just tired of the bullshit and I divorced him. We got divorced 3 years ago. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah. 3 years? Oh, wow. How you doing? She goes, oh, Gary, I'm struggling. I don't know. I'm just struggling. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. She thought the grass was greener, see? And that's what these shows on the program The Wall talk about. Women say we thought the grass was greener. And here I am talking to an old friend. And she said, I thought the grass was greener. It's nothing like I thought it was going to be. She said, when I first got divorced, I was hanging out with my besties here, and I thought, sure, I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She looks great for her age. She's in her late 50s. She's almost 60. She looks great. Real social. But she thought, once she got divorced, from what she told me, this little conversation we were having at the track, she thought that she was going to be able to jump in the dating pool and all these guys are going to want her. Well, she learned the hard way. It's not the way it goes in the 21st century. You're running up against guys like me. I mean, I don't date anymore. I've given up on dating. And I'm okay with that. If I stay single for the rest of my life, I would be okay with that. Because why? Because I'm peaceful. I'm at peace. I'm at total peace with it. I don't have any aggravation in my life. No bullshit. But I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about her right now. And there's guys like me, and there's guys out there that are fresh out of divorces, and they're doing the victory lap. They're fucking everything they get their hands on. These guys. It's harder for the women. I mean, yeah, you can go clubbing. Sure, you can get a one-night stand. Sure, you can get a one-night stand. Anyone can get a one-night stand in a club if you want to dress slutty. And that's kind of how they got to do it if they want to get any action. Because they're competing with women that are in their 20s, their 30s, and their 40s. And their 50s. And here they are in their late 50s, like the show The Wall. They're all in their late 50s. And they're struggling. And that doesn't surprise me. It's kind of like sobering to see it. And I've talked about this in other episodes. And I'm here to remind you, the grass is not fucking greener. It's tough enough being single and never been married, rooting through the bullshit. But the thing is, for guys like me and my buddy Alan, who's never been married, Bruce now divorced, Larry, he's in a relationship, but it won't last long. The women we're meeting now, anyone over the age of 40 have been married. I mean, my personal account is the past 20 years. Every single woman I've gone out with is a divorcee. They bring their baggage. And I listen. Because really, if you think about it, what did they do their whole life? They were married. They had another life. If they're going to be out with me on a date, what are they going to talk about if they're freshly divorced? That's going to be conversational. They have no life experiences other than the life they had. So it's natural that you got to listen to their bullshit, squawking about their life, what they had when they were married, their kids, their lifestyle, what they did. And I'm okay with that. I am so okay with that. I get it. But there's a lot of guys out there that aren't okay with that. And they don't want to hear that bullshit. So that's what they're running into. The women that are divorced. And a lot of these women, I read an article, I read a statistic on Men's Health magazine saying 75% to 76% of all divorces in America are asked for and done by the woman wanting to be divorced. Because they think the grass is what? What's that word? Greener? And that could be anything. I've heard the saying my whole life. The grass might be greener in that other job, but guess what? The lawn still needs to be mowed. Think about that. You may think it's great, it's better on the other side, but it's like the saying, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. It's true. It may seem better, but it's not. It's the same bullshit. And now you got baggage. You're divorced. And the dating pool is like swimming with sharks. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like swimming in a pool of sharks in the dating pool. You're dealing with guys and gals that have been single for a while, and they're savvy. They're sharks. They know what to look for. There's women out there that are breaking hearts left and right. There's guys out there that are breaking hearts left and right, and they're in the dating pool. They're the sharks. And then every year, every month, every week, someone's getting divorced and diving in head first in the pool, thinking that dating pool is going to be any better when they should have stayed. As miserable as you know, and I'm sure men and women that are divorced after convinced themselves they should get divorced. It's going to be better. It's going to be greater. It's not. A month, 2 months goes by, and the honeymoon phase is over. Oh, it's great. I'm single. I'm great. 6 months goes by. The honeymoon phase is starting to go away a little bit, and reality sets in. You're divorced now, 6 months going on a year. Then reality sets in. The honeymoon phase is over, and reality sets in. And you look around the four walls of your new apartment or your new condo or your new townhouse or your new home, and you don't hear the echoes of kids in the other room that are playing Nintendo, or family that's in town for the holidays. All that's changed. Now you're single in the dating pool. I should start a business. I should be a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I can make a lot of money. Put a little sign up outside my house and just listen to people spew about their problems. And you just sit there and go, yes, oh, yes, I understand, You know how much money you can make doing that? That's why more people are staying single. And just accepting what it is. People that got divorced, and now they dove into the dating pool. What they should have done, what Jen should have done, was stay with her husband. And I'm sure in his darkest hours, he's thinking, man, I should have stayed with my wife. But he had no choice. She asked for the fucking divorce. They should have stayed together. God, they had a house. Their house was tits. It was in a real high-end community of Cincinnati. It was nice. So all the problems that they thought they had just got bigger now that they're single. But both of them. And so if there's people out there watching my show today, because I know there are, and you're in a marriage that might be in the shitter, so you think, just try to bring it back a little bit. Try to resuscitate. Call 911. Code blue. Resuscitate the heartbeat. Put on some slut gear. Go to Victoria's Secret. Buy some slut gear. Surprise them after a long day, even though you haven't had sex with your husband in years. Resuscitate that limp penis. You put on some slut gear, oh my God. It'd be like, wing! Revitalize. Just revamp it. Try to add some flair to their marriage. Little stuff. Try little stuff. Keep it together. Because there was something you loved about that person when you met him 25 years ago. And there was something about you he loved 25 years ago. Till death do you part. Not till divorce do you part. That's all I got. I can go on and on and on, but I'm not going to. This is going too long. I know I spewed. I got off my soapbox. But just stay together. It's no easier being single. Trust me. I tell you all the time, I'm in here. It's easier to stay single. For me. Stay married. Make it work. And him too. Spice it up. Plan a vacation somewhere. Take her somewhere exotic. All the money you make, take her to Hawaii for a week and a half. Do something you've never done. Spice it up. It's cheaper to keep her. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got. I know I already said that. I'm going to get off of here. I got things I got to do. I'm going to get my hair cut. Next time you guys see me, you're not going to see anything. I'm cutting it all off. Have a fantastic day. What's left of it? 4 days from the Derby. I'll be talking more about the Derby on Friday. Take care of yourselves and each other. Thanks for stopping by. Peace out.